Please read the following disclaimer. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I also forgot to mention this video is kind of loud, so volume warning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello everybody, my name is Zubinduber. I welcome you again to my closet and for another video review. If you guys had seen my community post talking about how originally I was going to review Studio Series 86 Thundercracker, well, that is no longer the case, because turns out fellow Transformers YouTuber Gay for May finally came back after 9 months of absence, and their first video back was on Studio Series 86 Thundercracker, so I figured I'd come up with somebody else, but luckily I stumbled on this guy last Friday. It is Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Flatline. So yeah, let's just talk about him, but before we do that, let's get this box out of the way. And yeah, let's just talk about him. For those of you too young to be in the know, this is a recolor of Age of the Primes Armada Red Alert, which means he's Minicon compatible, but in a much cooler color scheme. Like, I did not know I needed a super evil and scary emergency vehicle, but I'm glad we got one. Like, if I saw this coming to my rescue, I would just assume it would run me over. Oops. Yeah, I would just assume it would run me over, break both of my legs, and steal both of my kidneys. And if he did indeed steal both of my kidneys, I want half the profits. This was actually the deciding factor for me in choosing between Red Alert and this guy, was just this awesome color scheme that is primarily black plastic with the red paint and some of these translucent red highlights, which just look awesome. And just the tiniest little bit of silver right here on the hood. The wheels, which roll excellently, might I add. It's solid too, because I did not have any cushioning for that bit, and there's not a scratch or anything on it. That's incredible. And right here at the back, this color scheme is so good, but it makes the giant purple Decepticon logo at the front stand out, which isn't a big deal. It still looks good. It's just kind of weird how you have all this black and red and then just like, oh, just a little bit of purple right at the front. I don't know. It's still neat. I like it a lot. I almost forgot to mention the tiny little decal right here that is his namesake. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no. I would say the strangest thing about this vehicle mode is kind of the asymmetry of it. Like, he has these really cool looking red lines and then a 5mm port here for some reason. I don't know if that's a holdover from Armada Red Alert, but it just looks really weird. And that is not the only thing that is asymmetrical about this guy, because if you pick this up right here, he comes with a little turret. Okay, man. You made your point. How about 25%? Yeah, just like the original Armada just like the original Armada Red Alert toy, you can activate a turret. And it is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole toy, and it will come back later on, so don't you worry. And it is indeed blast effect compatible. Let's get into size comparisons. Here is Core class, I guess, Armada Jolt, Deluxe class Minerva, fellow Decepticon Medic Prime Universe Knockout, Studio Series 86 Voyager class Ratchet, and another Prime Universe character, Leader class Skyquake. And if any of you are wondering why I went with Skyquake for Leader class representation, well, if you've watched Transformers Prime, you know. Now for the transformation. It is super duper simple, but I enjoy it so much. It is just so fun to just flip this guy back and forth. So let's get into it. First, what you want to do is come back here and separate what will become the legs from the back, like that. And then take this whole thing right here and just bring it up like that. And then the legs will fold up, and that will form the shins. and then bring these down. And then these heels are probably one of the more annoying parts, even though I just did it pretty well right there. You have to really just pick at it to get it, but we'll just do the same on the other leg. Like, see, that's what I was talking about. This is the annoying part. So what I like to do is I like to take a Lego brand brick separator, if you can see that on camera, and just... Okay, that doesn't work. So yeah, you just have to futz with it until you can get a good grip on it, and do that. And there we have sus mode. Anyway, then what you'll do is fold that up and then take the arms and just open them up like that, and then you'll just take the backpack and fold it down into a little tab right there. If you can see it on camera, there you go. Just fold up the windshield if it hasn't done that already. Rotate the shoulders and then bring these. By the way, these elbow joints are really, really tight. Out of all the joints on this figure, which are all super solid and nice, these elbow joints are like crazy tight. Like, there we go. If you can hear them on camera. And just untab those and rotate them. Do the same for the other arm. Like that. And then this is the part that aggravates me the most. This is where the Lego brand brick separator will come in. So what you want to do is just kind of... There you go. That's it. And then you can also use it to take that little tab right there and just push up on it to get out the head like that. Then fold that down. Fold this back up. Kind of straighten everything out. And there we go. Does anyone else get daddy vibes from this guy? I mean, he looks like he would take me to a fancy restaurant and insult me the entire time.
But I'm okay with that.
I mean, this guy is just awesome looking. Again, I did not know I needed an evil emergency vehicle as a robot, but this is just so cool. Like, that black convoy effect is just masterful on this one, and the little hints of red. Although, I do wish there was a little bit more red on the robot mode just from the dead front, because you really only get like those stripes right there on the doors and the highlights right here on the hood, and then of course the legs right there, but that's really it. He's primarily black just from everywhere else on the front, and then of course, you know, the translucent bits on the back. That is the one thing I kind of wish, maybe just a little bit more paint application, but I can kind of see why. Like, they kind of ran out of paint budget here. But thankfully, they did not run out of budget for light piping, because that is just so awesome. And even without the light piping, the head sculpt is what really drew me to this character. Like, he's just really sells that, like, evil, insane doctor vibe. It just looks so awesome. And if you were worried the giant shoulder cannon was just an exclusive feature of his vehicle mode, well, do I have good news for you, because... Okay, you've made your point. How about 10? But yeah, you can still use the cannon on his robot mode, and you can detach it and put it in his hands. Now, I know what you're thinking, but he's supposed to be a mad doctor. Where are his medical tools? Well, if we turn the figure around, and we look on the back of his legs, right there, you can see he does indeed come with one tool there, and one tool there. So yeah, he also has weapon storage, which is awesome. And not only that, but he has an extra accessory that you can store in his backpack, right there. So yeah, he's ready for just about anything. Surgeries, amputations, C-sections, you name it. Now you might be asking, where do you put all these accessories? Well, all you have to do is make like D16 in Transformers 1 and unarm him. 5? Anyway, for his other accessories, he comes with this one, which is not blast effect compatible, this one, which is blast effect compatible, and this one, which is sort of blast compatible. All of these parts can fit onto his gun, and these silver pieces have two dedicated I was originally going to say two designated holes, but I realized I can't say that. And these silver pieces have two designated spots where they can go. And if you're wondering, no, I don't think there's any weapon storage for the fist, as far as I can tell. I didn't see anything in the instructions. There was nothing I could find. But what I like to do is I like to pop open his hood and just drop it in there for safekeeping, which is all fine and dandy until you forget it's there for a while and then go to pick him up and then think, oh no, there's something wrong with my figure, but it's just the fist rattling around in there. Anyway, for posability, he has a ball joint at the head, which can give him a full rotation and even some tilt if you didn't see that earlier. And if you jimmy the head just right, you can actually get him to fully look up, and he can kind of look down, not much at all. He's got a full rotation at the arm, and you can move the doors up and down, but they're also kind of tight, so they kind of tend to take the arm with them. There's a bit of a butterfly joint, but that's mostly for the transformation. A bicep swivel, a really, really tight double bend at the elbow, like that. A wrist swivel. Also, important thing to note, only the left hand comes off. The right hand does not. It is secure in there with some screws. So don't make the same mistake I did and almost break this very expensive figure right after you opened it. Anyway, there's a waist swivel, which is kind of hindered until you untab the backpack, and you can get a full rotation. And you can even get them to kick that far and kick that far. There's a swivel at these little car kibble bits for no real reason, but I'm glad that it's there. A bend at the knee, and you can even get a further bend when you unpeg the shin, like that. And the foot has a nice ankle pivot, and can even go back and forward, and it's slightly ratcheted, so it'll actually, stay in place pretty well. Posability for Flatline is really, really good. Just with all the engineering you've gotten, like, you can just do some, like, insane poses, especially with the shin bend. You can do stuff like this, or something like this if you manage to balance him properly. You weren't supposed to see that. I edited the video and I put that in there without knowing. Yeah, you can also get some sexy poses if you want to.
If you're into that.
Okay, let's get into size comparisons before things get too weird. There's Jolt and Minerva. And Knockout and Ratchet and Skyquake. Do you get it? Because in the very first episode he was introduced in Transformers Prime, he does that thing, he does that thing. He does the thing that he's like most well known for. He does the thing. Overall, Age of the Prime's Flatline is a really, really good figure that I really, really like. If you couldn't tell already, he's just a solid Voyager class figure. Has a lot of really interesting stuff going on. A solid vehicle mode, a great posable robot mode, a bunch of accessories, weapon storage, still retains the original gimmicks of the original toy, even though this is a recolor of Armada Red Alert. But yeah, this is a really, really solid Voyager class figure. I don't really have any complaints, honestly. I'd say this is like really, really good. And if you can find one, get one. Is it worth $42 what I paid? I mean, I would say so. But then again, I've bought so many of these things by now, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if there's a figure you want me to review later on. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.